Hi, everybody. Welcome to Rose Garden Radio. This is Lorana. Really glad you're here. I still haven't figured out a way to know if anybody's on there live because I know my niece Amy was last week for sure. So we'll just figure this all out. But without any further ado, let's continue with our story. I can't wait. It's so exciting. And Amy, if you're out there, I know you're in the car today, so I'm thinking you may be watching your Aunt Lorana here live. So let's do it. And in case I forget, I don't know if you can see this, which way. It's so confusing, but it's LoranaRoseDay@gmail.com if you'd like a free PDF of A Weekend with Aunt Lorana. I'd be happy to send it to you. It's almost done. There'll be a little tweaking, and maybe you can help me. Okay. I believe we left off on page 29. And this is Aunt Lorana speaking. I can feel the excitement and growth of this city. It has a pulse beating all of its own, Aunt Lorana said as we came upon a tavern. I was wondering what a 1752 menu would look like as we entered the dimly lit establishment. Let's just take that small corner table over there, Aunt Lorana said, and began to lead the way. Shouldn't we wait for the hostess? I whispered, a little worried about being rude. That position does not exist in this period, my aunt told me as we walked towards the table. There are no menus either. We just sit down, and soon someone will come out with 2 drinks, probably an ale that is made in-house. Then a little later, they will bring 2 plates of today's fare, my aunt said, filling me in on what to expect. A few minutes later, after we had warmed ourselves by the nearby hearth and settled in, a barmaid appeared. Foam ran down the sides of 2 heavy-looking metal steins and dripped onto the floor as she approached us. It's done! It's done, I screamed in my mind to Aunt Lorana. She placed the drinks on our table, smiled sweetly, and walked away. I watched as she wiped her hands dry on her layered skirts. It's done. I can't believe it. She doesn't know us, and she's a waitress, I said, barely able to control my desire to get up and follow her. Yes, it is. In the reality we share with Dawn, she is a vibrant woman, an actress and a wife, my aunt said, looking deeper into my eyes. Are you shocked that Dawn is a waitress here? I was, but I wasn't sure why. I've learned to honor every position in society because I believe we're all here to grow spiritually and to find joy, no matter what our job or life circumstance is, Aunt Lorana shared with me, smiling her deep inner smile. Should we try to tell her she knows us, I asked, hoping for a yes answer. No, we should not interfere. Your soul has now met Dawn's, and a connection will be made. I feel because we are from a more advanced dimension, this interaction may accelerate her spiritual growth. This may be another reason we're here, Aunt Lorana said, taking a sip of the brownish-colored ale. I did the same and couldn't help make a little face because it was so strong and thick-tasting. You wished deep in your heart last night to see Dawn again, and the house understood and gave you that wish. I think our mission is complete, Aunt Lorana said, raising her glass and gently clinking it to mine. It was as easy as that, I asked, not fully comprehending that we had even done anything. Yes, not too bad for a day's work in the cosmic universe, right? Aunt Lorana smiled and let out her little wind chime laugh, which lit up her hazel eyes and made me feel more relaxed. A few minutes later, Don brought out 2 plates piled with potatoes, carrots, green beans, parsnips, and some stringy-looking meat. My aunt and I are both vegetarians, so I wondered what we would do. The whole time, I couldn't take my eyes off Don. "Don't worry about the rabbit. I'll slip it to the dog lying over there by the hearth on our way out," my aunt said, answering my unspoken question again. I was super hungry and the vegetables were very tasty. They seemed to have been roasted and were full of flavor. "This is tastier than what I'm used to," I said in between ravenous bites. "It sure is. I'm loving this meal. I'm in nirvana with every mouthful." They slow cook everything in a wood-fired oven, and these heirloom plants have never been touched by pesticides or chemicals. The only fertilizer they receive comes from nature, my aunt informed me. No wonder they're so good. "BTW, how are we going to pay for this meal?" I asked. "That's a good question, Amy." What do I say? Good question. "I thought I felt a few coins rolling around in this little drawstring purse earlier," Aunt Lorana said, fishing around in it. "Oh, I feel some," she said, her face lighting up. The very next second, she brought out a small handful of coins. "They must have fallen out of this," Aunt Lorana said, pulling out a pouch filled with coins. "Those look like gold," I gasped, admiring the shiny metal. "They are gold guineas," my aunt said, placing a few in my hand. "They were minted in England out of gold mined from Africa in a place that was referred to as the Gold Coast. Right now, it is a British colony, but in 1957, it regains its independence and becomes Ghana." As I was looking down at the funny little elephant on the coin, I got an idea. "Why don't we leave all these coins for Don?" I said with a big smile on my face. "Oh, Amy, you are so brilliant. The amount of gold in 1752, this amount of gold in 1752 will change Don's life overnight," my aunt squealed. "We'll leave them all on the table for her in this little pouch. Let's wait until we see her start to come out of the kitchen again and make a hasty getaway. This will be the equivalent to winning the lottery," Aunt Lorana chimed. I watched as Don walked out carrying a plate of food for a man sitting by the window. We got up and Aunt Lorana discreetly slipped our rabbit to the dog as we passed the hearth. He seemed very happy with the unexpected treat as we walked out of the tavern without drawing any attention to ourselves. Nessie whinnied in welcome when we approached the buggy, and I drove back to the house, feeling more confident with my equestrian skills, a little giddy from seeing Don, but mostly just lighthearted. What happens now? I was anxious about getting back to our dimension. Nothing to worry about, Amy. Our mission is complete. We just have to step back into the house, and tomorrow we will wake up in Canton, the center of the universe, Aunt Lorana said calmly. That feels like a great place to stop tonight. We're only on page 34, but it just feels right. Let's see. Hold on one second. Oh, we just have a little bit more, so let's keep going. Later that night, as we got cozy in the library, I started to think about our adventure. I wish I knew if Benjamin Franklin would already know you when you met. Wait a minute. I wish I knew if Benjamin Franklin would already know you when you meet in Paris. Technically, it would be your second meeting, I said to my aunt. That would seem to make sense, but time could be a funny thing, Aunt Lorana said. Benjamin met both of us at the same time. He didn't know either of us, although I knew I had met him at the ball in Paris in 1778, my aunt said, recapping. I'm not sure if he could remember us since we came from a different dimension. Sometimes the memories of interactions like the one Benjamin just had with us can be fuzzy at best. But sometimes it can change the trajectory of someone's life. Although if we apply what is known about quantum physics, once a photon is changed, all other places in its timeline adopt that change. What about that? Oh, I wish I knew, I cried, feeling the desire to know deep within my heart. Aunt Lorana got up and kissed my cheek goodnight. Well, my dear, some things are left as mysteries. Tomorrow, we can have that leisurely thrifting day. Sweet dreams, she said, and glided out of the library and into her bedroom, which is fabulous, BTW. It is. She has an antique hand-painted bed stacked with satin-down quilts from the Hollywood glam era, inlaid Japanese panels on each side of the bed encase antique Hollywood glam lamps. One of my absolute favorite periods, Aunt Lorana would say, touching her quilts. An elaborate hand-carved couch from the 1860s lives across from the foot of the bed. There is a huge amethyst geode on a long wooden table beside her bed, and above it hangs the painting, She Follows Her Heart by Heather Barron. I would love to wake up and see that every morning, I thought. I walked into my room and leaned against the door and closed my eyes for a few seconds. I felt like I was standing up. I was standing up with a foot on the back of two different horses that were galloping side by side down the beach. I knew I would eventually have to pick one of them to ride. My mind was opening, yet I was teetering back and forth between realities. I wish I could feel as alive as I did today all the time. OMG, what happened to us today? Was it real? Is my Aunt Lorana in a dream I'm having, telling me this fabulous tale about belonging to an ancient sisterhood? I climbed into bed with my cosmic head spinning. The feel of flannel sheets against my skin was the last thing I remember. Yummy. Okay, that's it. We're on page 36 in case you're reading along with me and you want to read ahead before next time. Anyways, I'm so glad you joined me. Thanks for being here, and I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. I know I am. It's been an incredible day. I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.